What makes the Insta360 Luna Ultra so exciting isn't the fact that you can pull off this faceplate and have full remote control and a view of what the camera's seeing. It's so much more than that. But first, we've got to go across this lake to talk about all the things that makes this camera, I think, one of the most exciting cameras of 2026. So, I don't know if you can tell right now, but it's pretty dang windy out here, which might be a challenge for kayaking across this 3-mile lake. But if you have the Mic Air or the Mic Pro, turn this on real quick, then really you can get some incredibly clean audio, even if the wind is blowing pretty dang hard. So we're definitely going to be using this a bunch today as we head out across this lake. And just so we're clear, Insta360 did send the Luna to me about a month ago, but they're not paying me or sponsoring this video in any other way, and they don't get to see it before it's launched. And there are, of course, affiliate links down in the description that don't cost you anything extra, but they do help me create content like this on this channel. So one of the coolest things is the fact that this little remote detaches, and it is a first among any cameras like this. Being able to control the camera, the tracking, and even get the audio from out here, although the audio probably doesn't sound great because there's a little microphone in here, but there's a lot of wind, a lot of other noise around me. But I also have the Mic Pro recording internally, so I can always use that clean audio, which is probably what you're hearing right now. But the remote, the detachable remote is super cool. Now it has about 1 hour of battery life, maybe a little more than that, maybe 1 hour and 15, but that's not even the coolest feature. The coolest feature of this camera is the fact that you can get these lossless zooms. Now I am, I don't know, 20 or 30 feet away right now. They say that that's about the max for this distance, which is, you know, understandable. But there's a 2x lossless zoom, the 3x lossless zoom, or that's the 3x camera, which is incredible. And the reason I love the 3x camera or this 60mm focal length so much is it gives you a much more realistic representation of what the background, that glacier, actually looks like when you're sitting here staring at it. So you can also do, you know, 6x if you want, and you can go, that's a lossless in theory, and you can also do a 12x, which is kind of ridiculous, the fact that you can go that far. Now yes, the image starts to suffer, and we'll go back to the 1x, but the fact that you can do that is pretty freaking cool. We're going to talk more about it, but first we got to get somewhere where it's not so windy and I'm not being blown around like crazy. Now when it comes to audio, this does have good audio built in, but there's pretty strong wind coming from right over there, so it's probably really screwing up my voice. But if you have something like the Mic Pro, even if you get disconnected, it has internal recording. It's 32 bits, so you can't blow it out. Plus it has a really cool internal stereo recording feature. This is what you're getting, which is super cool. You gotta watch my video to see the section about that. But also you can start and stop recording on the Luna from the Mic Pro One of the biggest advantages to having a Mic Pro or Mic Air is the fact that you get a lot, like almost 1,000 feet of range. So I was like 200-300 feet away just there. The fact that you're getting good clean audio no matter how far away I am is really, really convenient, especially if you're on the wide angle lens. Now, I think the most exciting thing to me about this camera is not the fact that you can do the 1x or 2x lossless zoom. It's the fact that you can do the 3x. Now, right now, that's the 2x, and now we're on the 3x. So the 3x actually switched to the second camera. And what I love about this focal length, which is about 60 millimeters, is the fact that it gives you a really true-to-life representation of what the background looks like, of scale. So like this glacier, these mountains behind me, this is more what it feels like to actually stand here and look at it. Whereas if you're at the 1x, it still looks impressive, but nowhere near if you're using that 2x or especially that 3x focal length to get that background compression, to bring your background and your subject together a little bit more and give you a little bit more true to life scale of what some incredible place like this actually looks like and feels like to stand here in. You'll excuse me if I'm just like kind of geeking out about the second focal length a little bit. It's pretty awesome. But let's talk about some of the specs. Now, you do get up to 8K 30 frames a second if you want to in both cameras. That will limit your zoom. So you can do 8K in the main camera, you can do 8K in the 3X camera. So right now I'm filming in 8K 30 frames a second and in the iLog, which gives you the maximum amount of dynamic range you're gonna get out of this camera, and that's up to 14 stops, is what Insta360 says, which this is a good example. I mean, I am fully backlit by the sun, the white sunlit ice from the glacier and the mountains behind me. It's really impressive the amount of dynamic range that you're getting out of a camera this size. Now, you can also film in something called Dolby Vision. Now, what Dolby Vision is essentially a high dynamic range Rec 2020 HLG color space, and that gives you access to a much broader dynamic range. If you're working in HDR color spaces, you can use this. And I mean, I'm not, and video is definitely not, but if you're watching things on HDR screens like modern, high definition televisions like 4K TVs that have HDR capability, or even most modern phones have HDR capability, then you might want to consider that. And it is an option in this camera. And even the normal color profile, which is also 10-bit, by the way, looks really good. The colors look really accurate. I mean, the other thing that this camera has done, or that is doing, is they've put a white balance sensor in the actual gimbal head right between the cameras, so you can get a really good accurate white balance. And honestly, like, it has blown me away. There have been a few times on the beta firmware that it was a little weird every now and then, but for the most part, it has performed really well in giving a really accurate white balance, which gives you also very accurate colors. Now, there's something you need to know about the iLog footage coming out of this camera, and especially compared to the normal color profile. Normal color profile gives you the opportunity to dial down the sharpness and take some of that away, or add sharpness if you want to. You don't really need to, but if you want to, you can. Whereas the iLog footage does not give you any control over the sharpness, but it also doesn't have, or doesn't seem to have, hardly any in-camera sharpening applied, so you'll have to sharpen it yourself in post. And I believe Insta360 did this to give us more of a raw footage out of the camera in iLog to give you the most amount of control, which is exactly what they should do, because then you can color grade it and sharpen it to taste in post, or put noise reduction on it, however you want to, in post. However you need to do that to get the best possible image. Whereas the normal color profile is more set to be just something that comes out of camera and is ready to go as is. But I think it's probably a little bit over sharpened, so I would dial that sharpness back just a little. I feel like maybe I'll just be shooting everything on this 3X lens now, because it's just so much fun. But so some of the other specs is you can shoot up to 4K 120, and you can do that in a non-slow motion mode or in a slow motion mode. So if you want to have it slow it down automatically to 30 frames a second, you can. But if you just want to shoot 4K 120 and then speed ramp or whatever in post, you can do that as well. But you also get audio if you're doing it in the normal mode versus the slow motion mode. And the slow motion mode can also do HD up to 240. And of course, you get access to Insta360's pure video mode, and they put a couple of extra chips in this, or a different chip set, to give this incredibly good low light performance. But if you need a little extra because it's a little too low light or the lighting's a little weird, even though actually I was really impressed with how it did, they even make a little tiny fill light for it. You can clamp onto the gimbal, put it on, and just give yourself a little bit more light wherever you need it. Because this camera has been co-engineered with Leica, which Leica helped to engineer the lenses on the cameras, but they also helped to engineer some of the color science. So that means they've given us some color profiles that are kind of classic Leica color profiles. This is the Leica natural color profile. It's supposed to give you some pretty natural colors and just a nice general all-around look. This is the Leica vivid color profile, which is giving you obviously a little bit more saturation, a little bit more punchy colors, a little more contrasty. This is the Leica chrome color profile, which is, you know, gives you kind of a desaturated look, I think. It's hard for me to tell right now, being out here. But in addition to the Leica filters, there's also 6 other filters that are meant to emulate different forms of original like film from Kodak and some other things, and I've just given you some samples of them here so that you can see what they do. Overall, like, I've shot mostly in iLog, and then I've applied a LUT and color graded it myself in post because I feel like that's the way I like to do things. But overall, like, if you want some baked in colors, you can do that with all of those different profiles that I showed you, but you can also turn down the intensity. Those were all at the max intensity because I wanted you to be able to see what they were doing, but you can turn the intensity down if you don't want it to be quite that strong. Not only do I like the 3X lens, which is what you're looking at right now, just because it gives you such a different feel and a different perspective, but it also can give you some really nice background blur and get some really close, tight detail shots, which is what I've been missing from little pocket cameras like this, is being able to get those really tight detail shots. Now you can get them because of the 3X camera. We've talked about the video features and the video specs. Like, it does an incredible job for video, but surprisingly, this camera is actually a really good photo camera because you can take up to 37 megapixel stills. You can do these super photos. For the 37 megapixels, you can get a raw photo or JPEG if you want, and they look really good. They give you a lot of flexibility, and that's the other issue I've had with pocket cameras like this is in the past they were limited to like 9 megapixels or something like that, which is fine if you're just posting on social media, but if you want to do anything with them in post, it's pretty small. You know, but like this with the 37 megapixel stills, it's not just that they're 37 megapixels either, it's that they look really, really good. I mean, these are straight out of the camera, no editing, just exactly what you get. And yeah, incredibly good. But you can also do panoramas and 360 panoramas, and those also look really good. Like, if you want to do a 360 degree photo, you can do it with this, or if you want to just do a 180 degree panorama, you can do it with this. 200 megapixels, which is an insane amount of megapixels. Now, Insta360 does make ND filters for this, which is a good thing, because if you set your shutter speed properly and your ISO as low as it'll go, it doesn't really matter unless you put an ND64 on there like I just did. Basically, that means you get proper motion blur when you have fast motion, which is what you want to make it look good to our eyes. So super useful and a great accessory. I'm sure there'll be other offerings for ND filters as well. In addition to that, there's also a black mist filter. So if you want to kind of smooth out some of the digital look, especially at night, if you're walking around a lot of lights, kind of gives a little bit of a halo effect. Just chills everything out a little bit digitally, can give you a really nice look. And they do offer a wide angle lens. So if you're doing a lot of walking and talking to camera like this right now and you want a little bit more wideness or a little bit wider field of view, then you can do that with the wide angle lens. It does distort straight lines a little bit, so you might have to correct for that in post, but overall it gives you a nice wider field of view, up to 108 degrees. Let's see how good the tracking is, shall we? So now I'm about 250 feet away on the wide angle lens, and is it still tracking? In my experience, the tracking on this is excellent. It does a really good job of tracking, even if I'm pretty dang far away. Now, something else you need to know is that this camera does have 47 gigabytes of internal storage, and also you can use an SD card if you want to. Now, in the beginning, I did say there were a few things you need to be aware of, and one of those is that currently there's no USB streaming on this camera. It doesn't act as a webcam when you plug a USB-C cable into it, but I asked Insta360 about that, and that is coming in a future firmware update. While this does have 8K and some great imagery, it is limited to 120 megabits a second. I wish that camera manufacturers would give us access to higher bit rates, like 200, 250 megabits a second, somewhere in there would be amazing, just because it's just I like having as much data as possible. I understand it would make the camera run hotter, but I'm okay with that. I also don't deal with heat as much as most people because I'm in Alaska and it's generally not that hot. Does the wide angle stay on the camera, and does it close all the way? Like, does the gimbal go to its park position when the wide angle is on there? The answer is no. It will go most of the way and then stop because the wide angle lens is obviously on there. So you do need to take the wide angle lens off to store the gimbal away. One other thing that I ran into is when using the Mic Pro, if the Mic Pro is not already connected to the camera, when you take the handle off, you can't connect the Mic Pro to the camera. I'm sure that's just some small bug that'll be ironed out in the firmware, future firmware or something like that. But if the Mic Pro is connected to the camera before you take the handle, the plate off, then it's no problem. It still records from the Mic Pro, no big deal. But if you take the plate off and then turn the Mic Pro on and try and connect it, it won't connect that way. The only other thing that I ran into, at least on the beta firmware, the early release firmware, was that there was no way to do a product showcase mode, but that has been added in the final firmware. So now if you're wanting to showcase products like to camera, whereas before it would definitely go after your face for focus all the time, now it will do a little better job of actually focusing on whatever is directly in front of the camera, not just focus on faces. Now, a quick word about the Pocket 4 Pro, which if you watch my Instagram, you've seen that, yes, I had a chance to actually work with it in Toronto. If you're in the United States, it's not going to be an option for you because it is not approved for use or for sale here in the United States. So there will not be a Pocket 4 release in the Pocket 4 Pro release in the United States. If you're interested in getting a dual camera pocket gimbal camera like this, the Insta360 Luna is our only option here. Next, you're going to want to watch this video right here. I'll see you over there. As always, if you have questions, ask me in the comments below or join my live stream, which happens some Wednesday nights at 4 p.m. Alaska time, 8 p.m. Eastern, at least if I'm not out in a place like this. But I can answer more questions that I might not have gotten to in this video. We can have a little more of a conversation. I'll see you again soon in the next one. Cheers.